I think we're live, so we're gonna go run with it. I'm here with DJ Cook. We're going to be talking about their high fantasy horror Immane. What is high fantasy horror? That's I never heard that one before.
So, high fantasy horror is a specific genre that I really wanted to go after realizing that there weren't too many like uh tabletop role playing games that existed that didn't have what's called a grim dark setting. I wanted that classic Dungeons and Dragons-esque world
Mm,
with really brutal horrors that were underneath and hiding from you at every corner.
yeah, awesome. It's kind of like well, like we were talking about off camera. Was I was a big fan of Ravenloft. The world in Dungeons and Dragons that came out in the '90s, and I bought books and all kinds of stuff. So like when I saw that you guys were doing one for horror, I'm like, oh, when Sean mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's got to be on my list. Um,
Absolutely.
so what kind of um um so from that aspect, what kind of things do you feature in the game? Is it oh, I have to grab dice.
So that's I have dice. You can use dice online. We'll be fine. But as far as like what's featured in the game, there's a lot of enemies that you could find that are basic, like bandits and goblins and stuff, and they're meant to be a bit weaker to lure players into sort of a false sense of power,
Mm,
let's say. And then there are another class of creatures called the Immane, and that's what the name of the game is after. Um, these main creatures completely change up how combat works, and they have a list of actions drawn out that can be very cinematic. And when you roll on them, that determines what they do. And they can range from dealing panic inducing actions to the party to just killing somebody outright. It's brutal, but there's mechanics built around that to make it not as likely to end in a what's called a total party kill.
yeah.
Um, but um, we don't need to delve so deep into mechanics quite yet. We just started.
um, so it'd be like your group is chasing a party of kobolds and you come across a cryptid.
But yeah, kind of. That's a great way to look at it. But most of the time, my intent will be to uh, create storylines that build up to finding the creature.
Mm,
Maybe you'll get some backstory. Maybe you'll get some hint as to what its weakness is. It's brutal, punishing, and uh, pretty luck based at points without being unfair.
yeah. How many creatures have you guys come up with so far for it? Or is it just like a growing database, I guess it would be?
It's a growing
Yeah.
database. Now, these guys take a lot of time to make because they need a lot of care. They need a lot of play testing. I have a few that are, we'll say, sketched out,
Yeah.
but officially, for the longest time, we had one to show off. And as of the very start of this podcast, if you are a free or paying patron on my Patreon, you will get access to the Quick Start Rulebook version 0.4. That contains two main creatures as well as a minion, as well as the core rulebook version 0.4 if you're a paid member of the playtester or epic tier. uh, you'll get everything that I've written so far, including a grand total of four of these main creatures.
Nice.
Um, One of them's going to be in a module, so technically there's five, but that one hasn't been fully revealed yet. It's this guy.
Almost looks like some kind of leaf golem.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. We've got H. Moyer. Hello. Zoe Baltimore. Hello. Jennifer's here. Chris Chapman. Hello. Luke.
Hi,
I'm
Chris.
not going to try to pronounce your last name, Luke. I'm sorry, but
What's
um,
up, Luke Kurthener?
is the sound better? Because I turned it up. I adjusted the wrong one when we were before the show started. So as soon as I said that they were having trouble hearing, I turned up the volume 6 decibels. So if anyone wants to let me know if that works, then we'll be good. SFDJ001. Hello. I have a pink hand. Mom's here. Volume is very low. Okay, so
Oh,
is the volume okay now for everybody? Or do I need to turn it up a little bit more? I turned my mic down. That should be better. Maybe not. Oops. That's on me. Anyway, let's see what else we got going on. I hear fine, but I have my volume all the way up. All right, let's see if I can turn up a little bit more. I just don't want to blow people's eardrums out.
that's okay. They can lower their volume.
Yeah. There we go. All right. We're loud now. Okay. Anyway, so how many do you have planned that are like based on real cryptids and creatures that are out there? Have you?
Real cryptids. Wow, that's interesting. So
Well,
we have a
real.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
We have a Leviathan right now, and that's kind of um in some way, shape, or form close to that. But uh I'm working closely with an artist who I'm giving a lot of creative freedom to. That's gonna be Libby Musacchio. You know what? I gotta go in the comments at some point and post her Instagram. I forgot to share that at the start. She's amazing. But um, I basically go to her and I say, let's come up with something together that's straight out of your nightmares, and I and then I'll build a story around it. And
Ah,
that's what we did with this guy here. This is the Quell, and he is going to be featured in the very first module that I come out with, which will be completely free and work with the Quick Start rulebook that you can get as well for completely for free. This is like a cursed creature that has been around and haunting this town for generations, and players have to figure out how to stop it from rapidly gaining power enough to destroy everything.
nice.
Leave it at that.
So, so you try to do as much of the unique side as possible.
Trying to, yes, absolutely. That's not to say that we won't have things that are directly inspired.
Yeah.
For sure, we're going to go after like eldritch horror. We did a celestial generation table that was inspired by biblically accurate angels, and it came out terrifying, and I love it.
Nice.
Kenny will have something to say about that when he comes on.
And we've got right now. I've got the QR code that is available on the screen. If you use that QR code, it takes you straight to Immane's Patreon. I also have the link in the description down below. Let's see. Oh wow, I had like a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to ask, and I just drew a blank.
Yeah,
It's just been
if
really
you
busy.
yeah, no, if you don't mind, I actually
Oh yeah.
have something I would love to address. So,
Oh, have at it.
I know that this is a channel that is filled with authors and up and coming writers, but not everybody here would be very well uh, in tune with tabletop role playing games. Maybe you've never played one before, and maybe you're looking into going to the one everybody goes to, Dungeons and Dragons, right? And there is a buy-in for these types of games, that like a cost that people associate with these games. It is widely known you could spend a lot of money, and some people don't want to do that. For example, to get into D&D, okay, their starter sets are nice, but if you want like the full package, you're spending $50 on a Dungeon Master's Guide, $50 on a player's handbook, and another $50 on just one adventure. and their adventure books are really big, but can be kind of a slog to get through.
Yeah.
I have some recommendations for that. So if you're worried about cost for these RPGs, I want to talk about Merkborg real quick. Merkborg is a very dark fantasy apocalyptic setting kind of world that is a ton of fun and has a $0 cost associated with it if you want to actually start playing. The website that they have, they will let you download a bare bones edition of this for $0. It's just missing the beautiful artwork that's inside. Okay. And not only that, like these little physical copies that I bought, all the information inside of these guys' adventures and extra content completely for free. You can just download them on their website. I love these books. Yeah.
I guess I'm old. I started with second edition D&D, so my books were like $24.99 for the DM's guide, $24.99 for the player's handbook, and then I spent like $50 on the entire box set for Ravenloft, and I think the modules at that time were like $15 a shot.
You know
so
what's so
it
funny
adds
is,
up quick.
yeah, it does. It really does. And then you got to factor maps and miniatures. And I have another package right here that has all of that. Maps, miniatures, 10 adventures, as well as the core rulebook, all in this nice box set. Dragonbane. If you want like a fantasy game this is $40. That's all this is. And you get everything you need to play in this. Nice. I love this set.
Let's see. Luke asks, what are we drinking tonight, fellas? I have my Fireball, like always. Usually I have Fireball.
I have a wonderful Junmai. It is a sake that I never really had Junmai before, but I love sake. So I bought this recently. I thought this was going to be a great time to open this up, and it absolutely is.
Nice. Luke says he's got a delicious Portuguese white wine. Don has old fashioned in honor of author Sean Gregory. Yep, poor Sean won't be able to join us tonight, so.
Unfortunately, we were hoping to get him on the show, but he's got a plane to catch. And I have his book right here, The Growing Darkness. It's the first book in the God Killers trilogy, and his sequel is coming out soon. I highly recommend you guys check this out. This is going to be such a great book series. So great, in fact, that now me and Sean wanted to announce this together, but me and him are going to be doing a collaboration together. Where after the first publication of Immane, whenever that goes through, we're going to start working together on a setting for Connaught, the land that his books take place in.
Nice. That'd be awesome. Let's see.
I also got this other book by this other guy named Michael.
Hey! I recognize that book.
I'm really excited to start this.
Oh, don't get attached to anybody.
Uh-oh.
It's my first book, but I love it. Thank you very much.
I'm excited to dive into it. Absolutely. At least I can do.
Let's see. Don says it's free, yet DJ bought an album related to it.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the coolest module I've ever bought for a tabletop role-playing game. This is Putrescence Regnant. This is for Merkborg, and it is an adventure built into an album, and there's even a record.
Right on.
I love this thing so much.
I had something like that for D&D back in the day, but it was on CD. So the record's kind of next level.
Oh, yeah. I bought a record player specifically for that.
Nice. Luke says, Fireball again, you deserve better. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Fireball. It's cheap, it's cinnamon, and it gets to be liquored up.
Yeah, and if you get some rum chata, all the better.
Oh, no.
I'm not a cinnamon toast crunch?
I do. When the fireball is gone, I do have Drambuie and Contradoir, so I do have $50 bottles of whiskey and scotch behind me. But I drink
Nice.
the cheap shit first. So, Sam says, and think about how long ago that was, Michael. Yes, I bought that was like 1990. Oh my god, 91 is when I started buying Ravenloft stuff. No, yeah, it was before Job Corps, so had to be late 80s, early 90s. Oh my god, I feel old. I still have my original books too.
Oh,
It's
nice.
yeah, it's one of them seen better days, but I've got
I have
all
an original box set that I got for, I believe it was my birthday a few years back.
yeah.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, I still have like original modules from the um Dungeons and Dragons from the 70s.
Ah,
So that one has seen better days. It's been I can't remember where I got
those
it from, but
original modules still work with this game. I'm actually wearing the shirt of Old
yeah.
School Essentials. They updated and revamped basically the original rule sets of like AD&D
Mhm.
and made it easier to read and understand and modernize some mechanics. And
Nice.
they work with all of those old modules. It's awesome.
Awesome. Don says 91. I started playing D&D in 79. I think it's where a friend of mine was playing in 79. I think that's where I got the original from. I think I've only got the one. I've got some. God, now I don't remember, but yeah, I've got quite a bit. Most of it second edition, though. Okay, so from the aspect of writing, um, do you guys plan on doing kind of like how what the Dungeons and Dragons did, where they had the game, and then um, the books took off the '90s, and so like everybody came out with books for each of the different realms and all that. Do you guys plan on doing any books based on Immane as a whole, or
Hmm. So the project is pretty early in, and I feel like a lot of the story that we want to tell is going to be through gameplay,
hmm,
through the adventures that players can do. I am planning on an overarching storyline between modules, but as far as some kind of a book spin-off or anything, I would be open to it. I just don't know how feasible that is this early in the process.
yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, my mind is still drawn to blank.
Oh,
um,
dude, it's totally fine.
so I looked at your guys' character sheet. I didn't have it up. I don't know where I saved it to, but it's a bit different. It's similar, but there's like all these different abilities and all that. How long did it take you to come up with the different things that are in it? Because I saw
We're
there's one
still
for
coming up with
adrenaline.
things to put in. So there's generic skills
Mhm.
that you get that are overarching to the rest of the skills that you get. Um, so for example, if you're a wizard, okay, you're going to get good at the generic skill arcane. But when you get that up to a certain point, you branch that skill off into specific schools of spells. There's 5 different schools of arcane.
Mhm.
So you get good enough at arcane as a base, and then you specialize into enchantment or evocation or illusion.
Nice.
And then you get specifically good at casting those types of spells.
Cool.
Uh, it takes a while to come up with all of that stuff. But you mentioned adrenaline,
Yeah.
and that's one of the key features of this game. Adrenaline is a stat that you have that some people might have it a little higher than others, and you can grow it over time, where you use a point of adrenaline in order to re-roll your check. But it's better than that because um, in the game, you have 10 sided dice.
Mm.
And if you roll a 9 or a 10, it means you just succeed at what you do. So if I roll 10 sided dice and roll a 9 or 10 or any one of them, then I succeed. It's that simple. But if you roll a 1, Ones cancel out successes. Everything else in between doesn't matter. Adrenaline lets you re-roll everything that wasn't a success. So if I have any ones that are canceling out nines or tens,
Hmm.
I get to re-roll those ones, and now I know that I already have successes.
That's different.
So yes, it is. We've tried to really do a success-based system that nobody has done before,
Yeah,
and
can't think of
it's been a lot of
anything.
fun.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that has anything like that. That's kind of neat. So like with the adrenaline, you're gonna make it part of like a constitution score, or is it just
There's
something
only
that you have?
three attributes. The adrenaline is just something that they have, and some races start off with a little bit higher adrenaline than others. But again, everybody can raise that over time by using skill points that you get after you level up.
Cool.
There's only four attributes. You have strength, intelligence, agility, and charisma.
Yeah. Wow, I think that's the first time I've ever heard anybody not use constitution in anything either.
Uh, no. What I kind of wanted to go a little old school with
Mm,
some of this stuff. I like combining the new school and the old school. New school being the success-based system, old school being I still just have hit dice, and you roll the hit die straight up, no bonuses, nothing. And if you roll a one, your next level you get one
yeah.
extra hit point.
Like natural 20 on a vorpal weapon. Decapitation.
Yeah. Oh, there's crit tables. There's crit tables too.
Oh, sweet. And this is all so it is fantasy, so you are gonna be with the whole swords and magic and all that. So which is great. I'm a big fantasy buff. I wrote a dark fantasy. Um so that's it's really interesting how you guys have it all planned out. I'm especially excited for the horror aspect of it. Now, when the for the how deep into horror do you plan on going with it aside from the monsters? Like um these because
So
like in modules, there's a story behind stuff. Um, and I guess with all of us being authors, writing a story is going to be relatively easy. But is it going to be like um the type of horror you're looking for is like a good example would be like Stephen King type of writing, or is it just going to be like Nightmare on Elm Street, just hack and slash right out there in your face?
Nightmare on Elm Street definitely has its place. And definitely there would be room to write a story like that. I'm more in favor of like the slow build-ups.
And slow burn.
Um, and now this isn't a book I'm about to reference, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Alien. And I'm very much inspired by how events play out in that movie, taking out people one by one
Mm,
and having a lone survivor at the end of it that just takes it on at the end.
yeah.
In my game, we have a death mechanic that allows players to continue playing even though their character is dead. And it's not just, hey, you're going to take over this character now. It's your memory now lives on in the living members' minds,
Mhm.
and you on your turn, like during the encounter, get to empower a player with your own abilities. For example, you have a party of a warrior and a mage, okay? The mage dies.
Yeah.
Now you just have the warrior fighting alone, but he's not alone. He remembers his dead friend truly and dearly. So, with that memory, he knows that this monster can only be taken out by magic. So, I'm going to try my best to cast a spell at him the way that my friend did. And that warrior can now do that through the dead player character's death mechanics it's called a dying memory. So now the warriors cast in arcane bolts with the same skill, the same abilities, everything
Yeah.
that dead character had.
What if you have a player that winds up killing the rest of the party just so they can get their powers like the Highlander?
At that point, you're no longer the friend.
Look at me, only one. I'm gonna gain everybody's abilities. That's good. Kind of dark. Let's see. Don says it's quiet here. Where's Jenny? And alien with kaiju. Kind of be a big ass alien.
Kaiju is definitely going to be one of the monsters that we make a random table for as well.
Oh yeah.
And speaking,
oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, speaking of random tables, if you are interested in checking out one of our generation tables, we could generate an arachnid from scratch for you. Now, these arachnids can have many different horror themed traits to them. We can do that right now if you're interested.
Sure. I'm
All
down.
right.
I'm game.
Now, I know you don't have any dice with you. Would you like to?
I can reach back and. Oh, I lied. I have dice right here.
Oh, awesome.
I've got dice everywhere. Which ones do I need?
Just grab them all. There's going to be a number of different ones that we're going to be using. But this process is very quick.
All right. Here we go. Demonstrating how to do this. Scary spider.
I have a table up right now. And I actually sent you earlier this table too, so we can check back on it again. I'm not lying about the results here, all right?
I don't know where the table's at though.
Oh, that's okay. I got it here.
Okay.
Here, go ahead and roll me a 12-sided die, please.
12-sided. Let me this bad boy right here. Here we go. 12-sided. Rolled an 8.
8?
Yeah.
You are a brain-bodied arachnid. Okay. So that's the first result. Now go ahead and roll a d10.
D10.
Now all arachnids also get the ability to make webbing, to walk on that webbing, and to cocoon enemies as well. So already scary, right? But typical.
I rolled a 2.
A 2. So you are a swarm. Okay?
All right. A swarm of brain body swarm. Nice.
All right. Already getting kind of a little bit more scary, but we have a lot more to do. So, for example, you get to roll on the extras table once. Roll me another d12.
D12. Oop, dropped that one. 2.
2?
Yep.
All of these brain bodies spiders have a scorpion tail.
All right. Don't know about scorpion tails.
Yes. So now we get to roll twice on the venom table. So go ahead, roll me dice 12 and roll that twice.
Oh, damn it. 5 and 3.
Roll that 3 again, please.
11.
11. Okay.
So are we
the
rolling...
scorpion tail. Oh.
I was just curious. Are we rolling a monster here? And that's what the
we're generating a monster from scratch. Yes.
Nice.
So your scorpion tail is paralyzing, and your spider's bite causes your target to shrink. So now this tiny swarm of spiders suddenly starts looking a lot bigger over time. All right. And last, we get a feature. So this is going to be the weird one. Get me 2 die 6, and 1 die is the tens digit. The second die is the ones digit.
All right.
It's a D66, it's called.
Here we go. First one is 4. So it'd be 42.
42? Yeah. They all have acid blood.
Damn it, cat. So, nice. Oh. Aliens.
Yeah. So yeah, actually with the scorpion tail, kind of, huh?
Yeah.
But this is one of the ways that like an RPG like this can give power to writers and game masters coming up with storylines, because now you have a resource that allows you to come up with monsters and enemies that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to think up of on your own.
That is,
This
yeah.
random combination isn't appearing anywhere else.
Yeah, that's awesome actually. So you're gonna have like a completely
We're gonna have a
unique
lot of
character.
those.
Yeah. You're gonna have a completely unique monster almost every game.
Yes. When
Hmm.
Kenny gets on here, he's definitely going to tell you about the celestial that he made. Well, I'll let him tell it.
All right, yeah, let's bring on Kenny. Let's see.
Yeah, Kenny, why don't you come on?
Let's make sure that Discord doesn't crash. We shouldn't have up to 25 people at once, so guess we'll find out. You
Yeah,
should
we're
be
going to
able
get close to that number today, aren't we?
to. I don't know. We could. I know a few people that can join us.
What's up, Kenny?
Hello, hello. Hello, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Hello. You are welcome. There we go.
Hello. How's it going, DJ?
I'm doing great.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. So what is this celestial that you made?
All right. So DJ allowed me to test drive his celestial generation system. I decided from the start that I wanted a seraphim. I wanted to see what would happen with the biggest thing that the table could generate. So I just started rolling dice, and the dice told me everything from what the seraphim looked like to its abilities, and just everything. So I ended up with a mist-formed seraphim with many eyes that were so bright, they were like burning bright as the sun. They were actually blinding to look at. It constantly created a fog. It could go intangible whenever it wanted. Oh, and the party doesn't know this, but at the end of it all, they could it could instantly reincarnate if they did manage to kill it, which they unfortunately weren't able to.
Yeah. Nice.
I think it was the first party wipe that our table had. I felt kind of bad about it, but at the same time, it was also probably like the strongest monster I'd ever piloted.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to generate. So once I had generated all those stats, I came up with a story around it. So some of the other abilities of the seraphim is that they can be a shapeshifter. So what I decided was the seraphim would disguise itself as the story I came up with was the god king of a nearby town died mysteriously, and so the seraphim came in, shapeshifted as the god king and took his place, but didn't want to stay there. So he used he caused like a vision in DJ's character to lure the party to the town to try and get them to take over the city. And the God King had this crown, and what happened was he picked up the crown, and then the fog kind of filled the room and sort of blinded everyone. And when the fog lifted, the God King was gone, but the crown was sitting on the table. Nobody knew that the crown was actually the seraphim in disguise. So they're looking around. They're looking for. They almost found the hook. They were searching for magical disturbances and found that there wasn't a teleport or anything. But if they had searched the room closer, they would have found the body of the God King under the floorboards, but they missed that. Unfortunately, one of the players ended up putting the crown on their head, and it started whispering to them. and getting them to give commands to the people, and eventually didn't like where it was going and smited that player. And
Yeah, he
I
described it as just like his head just completely exploded
I didn't mean for it
right
to
off the
be a one
bat.
hit. No, so here's the thing. So I know DJ had intended some Immane to have instant kill abilities. This was not an instant kill ability. This was just a lot of damage that resulted in a critical hit. Unfortunately, the critical injury came up as head destroyed, which was fitting for it being a crown being placed on the head. So yeah, the narrative kind of just played itself out from the dice, and I think that's like the magic of this game. It's like all of this story that I told you came from the dice that I rolled in the beginning to generate the creature.
Nice. So it's kind of like it's driven a lot by um, almost like a plot generator in a way.
There will be certain aspects of the game that are going to have like some plot tools and assisting. The game doesn't have any tables that tell you what to do as far as the quest.
Mhm.
Instead, it just gives you ideas, and it really helps the game master along with that. Not telling you what to do, but giving you ideas of what you could do.
Oh, still, it's quite interesting. It's a premise I've never seen before.
There's a lot of that present in one of my favorite uh, TTRPGs of all time. Actually, probably my favorite. This guy, Dungeon Crawl Classics. Look at how thick that book is. It's
Yeah.
just filled with tables and spells.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
So you were like, hold my beer? I could do that.
But Kenny here is actually getting close to publishing his first book, and
Oh,
one of the things that you were asking was, you're curious about how the tabletop role playing games inspire writers
oh yeah.
in their works, and I haven't actually finished writing any of my proper stories for the game yet. But Kenny here has actually almost finished his book, so I thought he had a lot of content that he could provide for you.
Yeah. So Kenny, uh, how close are you? Like on the verge of publishing, or like how close are you?
So my book is it's finished and it's actually in the editor's hands. I'm actually using the same editors that Sean Gregory used, Laura and RB,
Oh,
and they've been great so far.
yep.
I just got the first round back, so I'm looking through and checking things over. Pretty much just this weekend I got it. So
How much?
um,
What influenced you to write the book?
so uh, so when I started the book, it was originally it started as a script for a video game. Uh, I wanted to make like an RPG with a friend. Over time, that friend and I had parted ways, but I got to keep the story, and so I just kept developing it. And 193,000 words later, I've got this book, and right now we're actually working on splitting it in two, because that's a bit of I'm told that's a lot to ask for from a first time author. So we're working on splitting it in half, to make it a little more sizable.
So kind of do
Um,
a part one, part two type thing.
yeah.
Yeah, at 193,000, that is quite big. Kingmaker, I think clocked in at 88,000, and my next book is 82,000, and then the sequel to Kingmaker is going to be about 120. So, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. A lot of people say that you shouldn't write a long book, but if the book is good, I want to read it.
Yeah. I started this book in December of 2006, and
Oh wow.
um, Yeah, I just need like
Motivation?
so I had started with a script for a video game, and that became the outline, and that yeah, and to DJ's point, some like that's kind of like for like came from a video game, but for TTRPGs, so TTRPGs have inspired how my writing went too. I'd say best in like the action scenes. I tend to stick to the role in most games. Like each character gets one action, one movement per turn. That helps me keep pace and keep track of everybody, make sure everybody is doing something.
Mm.
And I actually do have a few scenes where characters are undergoing like panic effects, like from one of our favorites, Alien RPG.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's how Kingmaker started. Actually, was it started off as a fanfic for D&D, and I was actually rolling out how everything was going, dice and all, because I was if the good guy dies, the good guy dies. That's how I play. So I was actually rolling it, and then about a little bit into it, I'm like, you know what, this is gonna wind up being its own thing, and so I totally pulled it away from Dungeons and Dragons, made its own world, its own um magic mechanics and everything. So, yeah, I can see how starting off playing the game can turn into a novel. And my son is actually working. He's going to college right now to learn how to do video games, and he's got something similar going on where he has all these ideas for games that he wants to write a book. So he should be watching this because you did exactly what he was wanting to do. So, but that's cool. Laura and them are great people, so I think they'll take care of you. Eva says, Eva Tian? Tian? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm an American. 193,000 is a chonker. Is it a standalone? And this was before you'd said that they're going to break it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and in its current form, it's 193,000 in one shot. But yeah, it's so I guess to give it and the title of it is very new. I've just been calling it Krythe, which is the name of the planet, for the last 19 years. But we've been discussing different titles for it. I think the series is going to be Entangled in Exile, and the first book would be called Rise of the Veiled City, because the setting is imagine a world that's similar to Earth but inhabited by an alien species, and they're attacked and invaded by another set of aliens, and basically their homeworld is more or less taken over. 40 years later, the only survivors of this species are some of them are on an island isolated in the ocean, and others are on a nearby planet that's a lot like Mars, under an artificial cloud barrier, because the atmosphere outside is toxic. So the story centers on a couple of kids who just graduated from the military academy, and they're taught like, oh, these aliens are going to invade us anytime. You always have to be ready to defend, and it's a dystopian society. And it starts off with this festival. Like every so many years, they are able to make contact with the people on this island, and they have this festival. But this year things go wrong, and I'll just leave it at that for now.
Don't want to give spoilers.
Yeah, don't want to give too much away.
Let's see, we got a couple of people that love the title of the book. Eva is also an American, so it's Tyann. Okay, Eva Tyann. Sweet. Yeah, I'll just call you Eva. Very cool, Zoe says. So This book is standalone from Immane, though, right? It's not part of your guys'
Separate.
world. Separate.
His is more
Yeah.
of a sci-fi setting.
Ah,
Yeah, mine's a sci-fi dystopian-ish. It's kind of dystopian light. It's not super in your face, but it's there. Unfortunately, there's no big monsters in it that would fit with the main, but um, you know, you never know. It's had its roots and wanting to be an RPG, so who knows what the future can hold with it.
you looking forward to writing something for Immane, or are you gonna keep with the sci-fi?
I mean that's up to DJ. I'd love to write something that works with his system.
Bro,
That'd be
you're
pretty cool.
already in. Come on.
I'm seeing
Yeah,
fan fiction on
that'd be neat.
Wattpad.
Because I mean, I'll just say it. I love the main system. I love the D10 system. I was there. I remember testing the first iteration when it was percentiles, and it was like we were just constantly missing each other, and it was like, oh, this isn't it. And then the next time you had it, and just kept building from there. And it's been a great system. Like I have a lot of fun playing it.
Oh, it sounds like awesome. I'm jazzed about the randomness of the monster. That whole table thing is brilliant. And
Thank you.
as soon as I get the table, I'm probably going to write a bunch of fan fiction on Wattpad.
Well, we're gonna do a table for demons. We're gonna do a table for kaiju. One of the ones that I'm really
Ooh, demons.
excited for is a table for aliens.
Mm.
And we got a bunch more coming as well. So you know, if
Maybe I
you're
can help you with the aliens.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Dragons are going to be completely randomized and going to be considered immane creatures, so they'll be legit scary. And yeah, I can't wait.
Because you can do so many things with a table based platform like that. I mean,
We just finished a different generation table that has nothing to do with monsters. We finished a table for magic items.
oh,
All of the magic items in the game, well, the more powerful ones, are imbued with souls, and those souls try to, during opportune times for them, convince you to do something. They're called urges, and they're a fragment of what the creature once was. So if you have the soul of an animal, most likely it's going to be, hey, this is scary, run away. Or we did one where, funny enough, one of the creatures is going to try to convince you to dig up people's gardens. And then there was this one. Oh, I love this one. So there's a dagger called the Black Widow Maker,
mhm.
and it has the soul of a Black Widow. And if you know what a Black Widow is, it's a woman who kills her husband and tries to get away with it. So the Black Widow Maker's power is it will never wake somebody up while you're stabbing them if they're already asleep. And the dagger itself can put you to sleep, potentially. And its urge is for you to plot to kill your enemies in their sleep.
Huh. Nice.
So again, these magical items kind of help build a narrative. They help give ideas to players as well as game masters. It's a collaborative storytelling system, after all.
I would have to do a cursed one where you have the urge to clean yourself with your
Oh,
tongue.
there's cursed ones. Oh, there's cursed ones.
I like Luke's comment, almost made me laugh here. Playable clown race when?
He's been asking me for a clown race forever. So as far as like races and classes, we're going to be very expansive on those. Again, I have big ideas for every aspect of this. It's ridiculous. It gets in my own way all the time.
Yeah.
But we also have a bunch of unique classes as well, and one of the ones that is been highly requested is a chef class, because we
Nice.
have a blacksmith,
Yeah,
we have a brewer.
I'd be a
There's
chef.
an entire section of the game where I'm going to be overhauling this soon, but alchemy.
Mm.
There's going to be an entire crafting system for alchemy in here. You don't get that too often with games. It's I guess it's a complicated process that a lot of people don't want to attempt. I can see why.
Yeah.
But we have a brewer, we have a swindler. That's really fun. One of their abilities is called all according to plan, where the swindler can make up a plan, and as long as things are going according to plan, everybody gets a bonus to everything that they do. But as
Nice.
soon as the plan goes out of order, starts falling apart, they lose that bonus until they get back on track.
Nice. Luke says he'll never let it go.
Yeah, I know.
When you brought up a chef class, like I play EverQuest 2 still, yeah. My primary function in EverQuest 2 is I'm a provisioner. I make everybody's food. No matter what survival game I'm playing, I am making food. So I would definitely play your chef.
Chefs, the idea of chef is that they're going to be a cross between alchemist and knight.
Mhm.
Knight being a commanding presence that's able to assist everybody and get everybody in order, while also being fairly defensive. With the alchemist able to craft and create things that provide bonuses to everybody in the group. So
Yep. So yeah, almost just like a provisioner for. It's not in the group though. It's whoever eats the food that you make, but it does something similar. That was one of the reasons why I loved playing it. So that would probably be my first character. Yeah,
nice.
and I'm gonna yes, I will name him Ramsey.
We gotta.
Let's see. DJ is ridiculous and brilliantly creative. That was from SFDJ001.
Thanks, mom.
Okay, I'm just gonna call you DJ's mom. It's a random string of letters. A scam. Spammer.
Damn.
Luke says he really is. Zoe says yes. H. Mower says wow. Think takes after his mom. Yep. Being creative. DJ, I think we should invite Michael to a session sometime. This is from Don. Yeah, I would be down. That sounds like fun.
I would love to have you play in the game. If you ever wanted to do a live stream on your channel and I run a game for you and some other people you want to bring along, I would be absolutely down to do that for you. I
Yeah.
have a game, a short, possibly 2 to 3 session long. Adventure that I'm writing that involves a zombie apocalypse full of
Oh,
headless zombies,
nice.
and one giant one that is always surrounded by screams, but it is not screaming itself.
Yeah. Sweet. God, no, I wish that Colorado Plays would have had more subscribers. I have another YouTube channel, Colorado Plays, where I play all the games. That'd be fit perfect on it.
Let's get something
That's
going.
that's
I'm
where I normally
more than happy.
stream. I normally stream games on Sunday nights. I haven't done it for a while, but we want to get back into it. But yeah,
That's
that'd be
when we
done.
play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't hear a word, but I can see you guys from 18,000 feet. That was from Sean. He's flying. You're not supposed to be using your phone. Well,
Yeah.
I've never figured out how to use internet on the plane. I can never connect to it, so I get to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
He got called in on a plane ride this morning by his boss.
He shot me a message
Yeah.
on Instagram, like at 4.
What a dick! I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love Sean.
Sean's a dick.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Let's make it happen, Michael. Yeah, I'm down. Sunday night is perfect. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Sean, I literally cannot listen, but for anyone that hopped on from my socials, this new TTRPG is fire. Hot fire. And he's drunk.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna be on a plane.
What did I do with my glass? Oh, it's in front of me, dumbass. All right. The microphone was covering it,
where's
so I
your
couldn't
glass?
see it. Yeah, what's Ken drinking?
I'm drinking a Manhattan.
There we go.
Out of a mug. What a classy man. I love it.
I have my D&D mug in
Honestly, a
his
mug
crotch.
is the best vessel for drinking in. Personally, I just have like a dumb wine glass.
See, I should have used my glass, but I'm drinking out of my Drambuie glass, but I have a tumbler that has the Wraith from a next book on it that I had printed.
Oh, I have a
here,
rocks glass that has the Wayland Yutani logo from Alien on it.
Oh, nice.
My favorite rocks glass.
Okay, I want to see if I can grab that. Hold on. So I designed this. This is the guy that's in my next book. It's a dark western. It was a lot of fun. It is supernatural meets Sherlock Holmes meets Wild Wild West. So this is the guy. Don't know how well you can see it.
I see it.
Okay,
Nice.
so I designed that myself using him, and the actual design for it looks way better in person, but it's the Wraith from the book, so I'm pretty.
You know what's so funny? You said supernatural meets Sherlock Holmes, and I was just yesterday thinking about how to describe this other book that I have here, and that is exactly how I would describe it. So if you like more like intrigue and mystery, and you're looking for a good game to get, Vaesen is Nordic horror, like I think 1700s, like Norwegian horror. It's awesome.
Nice. How many role-playing games do you have over there with you? You keep pulling out a new one.
Bro, I probably have like 23. Okay, look, I wanted to show this one off already. Yeah, thanks for giving me the open here. This is Mothership. I love this game, dude. This game, $80 for a full box set. Okay, now that seems like a steep price, but it comes with all the bells and whistles, and it comes with, look at all these books here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay,
those go to it.
4 of these. Yeah, 4 of these are game books that come with it. But the best resource that I've ever bought for these games has got to be in Mothership, because it's this guy, the Warden's Operation Manual, because it doesn't read like a normal like Dungeon Master's Guide or anything like that. It reads like it's a guy that is talking to you and telling you, hey, here's what it takes to be a good game master. Here's what it takes to make an engaging story. Here's some tips, advice on how to avoid repeating yourself. There's lists of resources like go ahead, watch these movies to really get a feel for the vibe of this. Mothership, I couldn't recommend enough.
Nice. That's the book that goes with that game, right?
Yes, all 4 of these
you can
books
buy it individually.
come in that box. You can buy them individually, yes.
Sweet. I wish Neil was here. She could drop some links for us. Neil is one of my moderators who's usually pretty quick on the links when anybody mentions anything. She's glam.
Oh, geez. Here, I got more books. So. No.
Let's drop the Amazon link, make some money.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah. Whoa. I don't know what that was. Somebody falling down my stairs during a live stream. Thank you. That was my daughter. Let's see. Don says, seriously, his players have enjoyed enduring the ride DJ has had teaching us a new game every freaking 6 months.
Oh, yeah, no, I do. I had a problem for a little while. I
bought a new one, guys.
You know what, though? Because it all led up to this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I bought game after game. After I started, like, falling out of Dungeons & Dragons, I got a little bit bored of running that system, so I wanted to try something else.
Yeah.
And I got into Alien RPG, and I just realized, whoa, this is completely different, and it is so much fun. And so I just kept buying more systems, and he's actually underselling it. I would teach everybody a new system like every 3 months.
Nice.
Kenny was there for all of that.
So
oh yeah.
So I guess you probably have Catan then.
Catan?
Yeah.
Never played it.
Oh my god!
I know.
Really?
That's one of the ones I like. Of all the board games that I've never played, Catan, like,
Just wasn't it?
I
Huh?
have Catan.
yeah.
Come over and play Catan.
Yeah.
Ken, we're gonna play Catan. We're gonna
Do
play
it.
Catan. Michael, you want to join us in Catan?
Now he's going to teach you how to play a game.
That's right. Step one: give me all of your sheep.
I was stuck in the fire.
Well, I don't know better, so sure.
Let's see. We got. There's a lot of Alien RPG in Immane's DNA. I didn't know Alien had an RPG, so that's kind of cool that you showed that.
So
Ken,
one
the
of the
OG.
things that Alien and Mothership showed me were the effect of panic in a game, and Alien does it amazingly well. I haven't seen enough of it from Mothership yet to form an actual opinion, but Alien does this thing where you get stressed out, and as you get more stress, you get more dice, and that can sometimes be a good thing, and it can improve your chances of being successful in what you want to do. But if any of those stress dice fall on the wrong side, you panic. And so your panic could be, I scream. And you screaming makes everybody else panic. And if somebody else screams, it comes back to you and you run away. And they see you run away, and so they run away too. Like it's an insane cascade. Like do yourself the favor, buy this freaking game.
Game over, man. Game over.
It really feels that way while you're playing. Like you are in that world of Alien. Now,
Nice.
what I do that's different, I have these things called thresholds, and they are 3 different thresholds that replace most games' ability where you would have saving throws. Okay, D&D has Constitution, Strength, Wisdom saving throws. We don't have that. We have an amount that you're able to tolerate before you give in. Okay, that's what the thresholds are.
And this one's for Immane?
Yes, this is Immane.
Okay.
So if you are a knight, you typically have a high tolerance to anxiety because you're keeping everybody else in check.
Yeah.
And so things that get you anxious might raise that bar, and once it fills all the way, boom, you panic, you roll on the panic table. But then there's corruption, and that's magical accrual. You get that by casting spells or having other enemies throw effects at you that raise this. And once you trigger that, boom, you get a like a mutation, or one of the more popular things that has been happening when people fill this bar up is your hand explodes. Like it's pretty wild, some of the stuff that happened. We're looking to flesh that one out to like 100 different results eventually.
Nice.
And the last thing is toxicity. This is probably actually my favorite, because toxicity, when it fills up, you get like a random symptom on the symptom table. And you just have to look up a bunch of medical terminologies to come up with new results on this table. I'm having so much fun with that. But even better is the other table associated with it, called the overdose table. And so every time in Immane, when you drink a potion, you have you gain toxicity. And if that fills up, you roll on the overdose table, and that can result in things like, oh, you vomit, and then all of the benefits of that potion are go away. Or you could get addicted to health potions. Like stuff like that can happen that just completely change the narrative. Now you just have a junkie.
Sweet. We have a junkie in the party.
Yeah.
Well,
He just watch your health potions, everybody. He's gonna try to take them.
Nice.
Imagine getting addicted to disability potions.
Yeah,
my partner Hope stopped by to bring up Catan. So if you guys want to play, we can get started.
We can do that tonight.
All right.
Let's see. Don says I've never had my heart rate set up high through the whole play sessions before like Alien RPG does. So you guys really
Oh,
get
yeah. Alien will stress you out legitimately, especially how I set it up on Alchemy RPG. Alchemy is a very cinematic focused virtual tabletop,
Mm.
and it has like all of these like music settings and sound
Oh.
effects and all of that. And there was this one session where I had a pop out of a face hugger just jumping midair, and it like I heard somebody flinch.
Nice. Let's see. Shaq Banshee's here. How's it going? It's Arlo. Ken is the only one in the main history to get TPK.
Yeah,
Not sure what that one is.
Yeah.
What is TPK?
that means that
Total
that
party
Kenny killed everybody in the party. It's a total party kill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
It took 3 sessions, but yeah.
after that, we came up with some new
Ah.
mechanics to like slow that from happening. The intention of Immane is not to have a total party kill. It's meant to kill some of you, but not all of you. That's a difficult balance that I'm trying to achieve here. Because again, like I said, the death mechanics means that for every player that dies, the rest of the party gets more powerful. For example, with what Kenny was talking about, the person that died, that their head exploded, that was our cleric. So after our
Yep.
cleric died, that meant that that every single character each round could potentially heal anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I brought up earlier, Kenny was going for the Highlander role, killing everybody, gaining all their powers.
That's right.
Like if the
Well,
only one.
that's the goal of the GM. No, it's not.
Stab somebody in the back.
No, don't be that guy that just tries to kill your players.
Let's see.
Then stop making such powerful monsters. No, keep doing that.
Okay.
I listen. This is why I made the game.
Yeah.
I was tired of
To be fair, you don't have challenge ratings or anything like that. So how was I supposed to know that the level 5 party couldn't take
challenge ratings aren't even a real thing? Okay, they're just make believe.
We never had challenge ratings back in my day. If you poked something that was way higher than you, that was your ass.
We have hit dice.
Yeah. H. Moyer says, "Hey Kenny, what was your favorite part about playing your Celestial in Immane?"
I liked. So one of the other things that was randomly determined was its personality, and its personality was urgent. So everything that it did was like, "You must be destroyed immediately," and like all of its role playing was like I have to hurry up and do this, which unfortunately explained why I was dumping so much into smite every time I hit, but because it was part of the personality. But I don't know. I liked crafting a story around the dice, like I was saying earlier. Like that was a lot of fun. Just wrapping something around the creature, and the idea, like now it's becoming a running gag, like in our group chat, like about the crown and everything. So it's like that's kind of funny now. It's like
yeah, don't put it on.
Yeah, don't
put it on the ground.
It's become a little bit of an inside meme.
Yeah,
funny enough, his crown killed off one of us right at the beginning, but I am in the process of making another Immane that is a cross between a vampire and a werewolf, and its first tactic is relentlessly attack the weakest character you can see.
Nice.
That's just cruel.
Yep. Until it's dead. Yep.
It took 3 weeks, but Ken wiped us all out with his celestial crown. That was from Luke. How's it going, Jenny? Jenny's here. Don, I am so much better now that you're here, Jenny. Let's see.
Hi,
Everybody's
Jenny.
all about Jenny. Crackling candle. Yeah, we were talking about crackling candles in the fire pit. FYI, these guys aren't drinking enough. Well, I just finished mine,
About halfway done.
and I would have to.
Should finish this.
Well, I guess I can reach for it. Right now, I've got Crown within reach.
You know what, Sean? This is for you. I'm gonna drink straight out the bottle. There you go.
Grab my Crown and drink out of it.
It's actually great that way.
I love. I've got Crown Royal Regal Apple. It tastes like drinking green apple Jolly Ranchers.
Oh,
Love Crown Regal Apple.
nice.
Let's see. I'm 5 Woodford Reserves into my flight. Hey, no, I gave it to
Woodford's a good bourbon.
my oldest or my youngest son is a Woodford fan. He's 25, by the way. I'm old. Let's see. Expected them to at least drink from the bottle. Yeah, he did. Haven't I taught
Hey,
you
look at
guys
that.
Yeah. Really would love some apple pie moonshine. Yeah, my
That apple
daughter
pie
liked it.
moonshine is actually really good. Don't talk shit on that.
I've never had it. I do like the green apple ones. So, especially if we actually had a full moon right now, I wouldn't know because I'm overcast after 90 some odd degrees today. Let's see. Sean marked this point and go back and watch first. DJ drank to you. Yep, he did. I think that was before Sean got on the stream. So, okay. So here's from Luke. Ken, I know your D&D campaign is separate from your novel, but does creating the story of Severed Coils influence the creation of the Veiled City at all?
So yes, so Severed Coils is my other writing project, and the funny thing, you can actually go read it right now. It's on the Dwarf Fortress Bay 17 forums. If you just Google Severed Coils, it'll probably come up. But it is, it was it started in 2009. It was a Dwarf Fortress game based on actually a bug that became an exploit. Basically, I had discovered that if you lost or killed the Duke of your fort, you would get another one the following season or the following year, but they would bring another consort with them. So then you'd have a Duke and 2 consorts. So the theme of this fort was keep killing the Duke in creative ways and accumulate consorts. So then I had 3 consorts and 4 consorts. And this is another thing where I kind of took a game mechanic and built a story around it. So I wrote a story of a dwarf who is doing this because the king has kind of coerced her into killing off his political opponents or else. So she's kind of doing it under duress, but and she gets the help from the clerk who and some of this is randomly determined from Dwarf Fortress, which has like an incredible like procedural generation, and the dwarves are all like really intelligent in the game, and just building a story around it. I eventually built a Dungeons and Dragons campaign around that, and that's what DJ and his dad are in, and a couple of my other friends are in that.
Nice.
I just want to say one thing about his campaign though, that he did that is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Kenny took a couple of dungeons from Tales from the Yawning Portal and recreated them in game, and we used that as our dungeon crawl map in Roll20.
That's
Like
right.
that, yeah, and he made a bunch of 8-bit little characters representing all of us. Like the amount of work and effort that he put into that, so freaking cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think
Yep.
the most I've done so far is right now I'm working on a Neverwinter module that happens between Kingmaker and the next book is Fury. and I'm 95,000 words into Fury, so I'm almost done with it. But there's a 3-month gap between the two, and so the Neverwinter module takes you through those 3 months and how the characters in the second book get introduced. So yeah, it's really cool to hear that you guys take like parts of stuff and kind of morph it, I guess, or shift it to fit your guys's flow. So
Yeah.
And
And
I think I misspoke. I think I said Bay 17. I meant Bay 12 games.
yeah,
I think I misspoke, but just correct myself.
Let's see. Can I know your D&D? Okay, so you read that one. Sean's only drinking Woodford Spirit because Spirit doesn't have Basil Hayden's. Please tell me not on Spirit. Oh, he's on Delta. Okay.
Basil Hayden's is the best bourbon you can buy. I will die on that rock.
So he says, I'm only drinking Woodford because Delta doesn't offer Basil Hayden's. Jenny here, just put a few more logs to the fire for a movement break, of course. Now a little hydration before I get back to the IPA and beta reading. Everybody's drinking. Tomorrow, finally filming new content on my channel in like a year. Awesome. I have a challenge with a friend, so here we go. Good luck. Let's see. Loving your play-by-play, Jenny. Let's see. Trying to find. Okay, so H. Mar says, "Well, that's incredible, Ken. When you're talking about your, when you're doing the game." Wow, there's a lot of. She just, yeah. I say, okay, Don. Our severed coils sprites look so freaking good. Kenny hasn't mentioned it, but he's a great artist too. So you said 8-bit, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I started with the Guybrush tile set in Dwarf Fortress and just started adding on to it, like sort of in its style. But I've added a lot of Dungeons and Dragons monsters like the Grick and the Fire Snake and all kinds of and the Bulette, like all of those things I've done in pixel art, sort of in like a 16 by 16 pixel style. So it's sort of low res, but it works out like and I've done the entire I did the entire party from scratch, and the icon that you probably saw when I signed in that is actually my character in that game that was one of the icons I made.
Nice. Fun. Well, here's a blast from the past. I just bought TSR's complete collection. TSR is who did Dungeons & Dragons before WotC bought them. And I have the complete collection that I grew up from the 80s. So I've got Pool of Radiance, Curse of the Azure Bonds, Secret of the Silver Blades, Hillsfar. I got the whole spiel. That was all 8-bit. So that was really cool that you guys are still doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, something about the pixel art style. I can't get away from it.
Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Which one's that?
This is AD&D Second Edition Monstrous Manual. It's not an original copy, but like
I was gonna say that didn't look like that back in the day.
So much like good resources and materials.
So I don't know if you can see it from here, but that white folder is all Second Edition monsters from back in the day. That's a composite of Greyhawk, Ravenloft, Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, Dark Sun, Spelljammer. But yeah, it's that freaking thick. Let's see. Sipping below 10,000 feet. Remember me when I'm gone. This is from Sean. I'm going into the darkness. It's growing darkness. It's so cold here. The ice moves for no one. I'll let off my severed coils in this Immane world. Maybe grab a broom to sweep up all these titles you dropped. There was those are some damn fun games, Michael. Yeah, Don. Weren't they though? Polar Radiance was my introduction to Dungeons and Dragons in the first place, and this was on the Commodore 64, and it's some of the best memories I have of my grandma who passed away. She's the one that got me into computers in the first place, and I would sit for hours at her house playing pool curse and secret, and so when I saw them on Steam, I had to get them. It was like nostalgia to the end. So, but yeah, I agreed on they were my favorites. Still will be, and I love them. I still have my original discs from 40 years ago.
Nice.
Let's see. OMG,
I
Sean,
still
you
play
jack off.
Ocarina of Time all the time.
Dot says, I literally choked on my old-fashioned reading mat. Someone's a tad liquored up at 10,000 feet. That's right. I'm getting a tad liquored up at 5280.
Actually,
Anyway.
you know what's funny? Which Sean said there, I left my severed coils in this Immane world. Severed coils always reminded me of the song that I got the word Immane from.
Oh.
Where I first learned of this word was in a song called Coils of Light, and it was featured in the expansion to the video game Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen.
Oh, that's one of
And
my son's favorite game.
dude, Dark Arisen is killer. Okay, the sequel needs performance updates, but like the original game is just amazing. And in Maine, I was always intrigued by that word. This title actually started off for me as the title of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I ran.
Nice.
And what I learned, what this word meant, it's an archaic word that can mean a few different things, but the most prominent one that I found that really resonated with me was monstrous in form and character. And that's what really set me off to like creative overdrive. Monstrous in form and character. I want to bring this word back, man. I think there's so many corporations we can describe as Immane right now.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I can think of like five off the top of my head. I'm liquored up.
Yeah, these creatures that I'm writing, these stories that I want to convey, all need to have that word, monstrous in form and character, need to convey that theme.
Okay, so I gotta read this back and forth between Don and Sean here. You actually know your altitude, so I don't know if he's talking to Sean or myself. I know my altitude because I'm in Denver, 5280. Actually, technically, where I'm at in eastern Denver, I think my actual altitude is 5,374 feet because I looked it up. I'm not sure, but if it's Sean, then I don't know. But he says as soon as my Wi-Fi gives up the ghost, I'm blue 10K. And then Don says, fantastic typo, man. Right? Plus the entertainment systems tell you everything in the plane, currently at 13,000. Yeah, I bet they probably do. I haven't been on a Delta flight for a long time, though. Blue 10K. Yeah, Sean. Don was asking, I was asking Michael, who was on the ground, not the dude in the blade. They announce it there. Yeah, I'm actually about 10 miles away from DIA. But out of curiosity, one day I was looking to see what my exact altitude is at my house because I was bored. And I'm at 5,374, if I remember right. It's either this one or the one in Westminster. But being in Denver, I don't think there's any place that's here that's below 5280. So that's why I called the Mile High City.
Last time I was in a plane, I jumped out of it.
Oh, I've never.
What?
I've never skydived. Yeah. Hopefully that's what.
Yeah, I went skydiving for my friend's birthday once, and I got to tell you, it was so my ears didn't pop on the way up, so on the way down, my eardrums basically imploded.
Oh.
It was the worst pain I'd ever felt in my life.
God.
And
no!
By the time I hit the ground, I was like completely deaf. I actually went to like a fairgrounds later on that day, like hundreds, maybe 1,000 people around me. I couldn't hear any of them, and I was like, fortunately, my hearing came back like 2 days later. But man,
you were scared as heck.
Somewhere there's a DVD of me landing and like my face like beat red, just clearly not enjoying myself. It was a lot of fun though. Like other than the pain, it was a lot of
other
fun.
than the pain and the deafness, I'll do it again.
Yeah, it was worth it to do it once. I don't think I'll do it again.
Let's see. Let's see, Sean.
If any of you guys in the chat want to ask me questions about the game and the mechanics, please, absolutely. I would love to answer your questions. Also, keep in mind that free members of my Patreon get access to the Quick Start Guide. If you want to look at this stuff yourself, come in. Okay, you get updates. Everything's free as far as that part goes. And if you like what you see, drop $10 and you get the core rulebook, whatever I made so far. You get all of the additional classes, races, the abilities that you could take. It's a very flexible system. We got a guy that made a knight that just wields 2 shields. Okay, his name's Sir Pino. Luke,
Nice.
that's his. You see him in the chat. And he goes in anime style, diving in between the monsters and his allies, just blocking hits left and right. It's epic. And all classes can cast spells. There's a thing in the game called Tier 0 spells, and if you want to make up a minor effect at what you do in the game, you could just do that. So again, very flexible system. You could do almost anything that you want. You can go for any build. That's the kind of vibe that we're going for. Check it out. Check it out. And
Yeah.
give me your feedback. Honest. I grew up in art schools. I went to the Art Institute for college. That closed down on me before I was able to finish my degree. But I am used to criticism. And I want people that aren't afraid to give me criticism, okay? Because I need to hear that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't like it, I want to know. I don't want to know why.
That's how we grow.
That's how we grow.
Let's see. And the link to the Patreon is on the QR code that you see on the screen right now. Or you can also click on the link that is in the video's description down below.
Which thank you so much for doing that, by the way. Yeah. That's awesome. I have the stream running up over here, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yep, I try to remember to do the Chiron for everybody, but I can't remember if I missed halfway through Sean's. That I realized that, oh my god, I made one and I forgot to turn it on, so I turned it on like halfway through the stream. Or if it was the author before him. But I like skipped out on half of it. It's like, I thought it was yours, Sean, I'm sorry. Let's see.
I'll plug Sean's book again. Like check out The Growing Darkness, the God Killers.
Well, that's what I was telling before.
Seriously, great book.
I try to buy the books and stuff from everybody who's been on my show. It just lately has been kind of tight, so I've got a TBR pile that's growing. I still have to buy The Growing Darkness. I got to buy Black Rose because Arlo just the description of Black Rose was just. I essentially the last book I wrote was Shadows of Atlantic City. That's going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, and it's that dark western. And so when I saw that Black Rose was a sentient gun from the West, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to buy that one. So yeah, I try to get everybody's stuff, but it's just been kind of tight lately.
Listen, Michael, you don't have to buy anything from me, man. Like the fact that you join my Patreon as a free subscriber, that means the world to me enough. Okay.
Oh, I'm jazzed about you guys' game. In fact, if I can squeeze some time this week, I'll probably talk about it on crossingcolorado.com. coloradoplays.com. It's my gaming blog. And yeah.
Oh, and I do want to iterate something. The money that goes into the Patreon, if anybody does decide that they want to throw some money my way, that doesn't go to me. That goes to my artists. Okay. Mostly my main artist, Libby Masaccio, but any money that I get goes towards artwork that goes to the book. And And the more artwork that I get before doing a Kickstarter next year, the more likely that Kickstarter will be able to succeed. I want this thing to be beautiful, like
Yes.
a coffee table book by the end of it.
So
But you know,
so you guys
that's a lot of money.
yes. So you guys don't have a Kickstarter just yet, just the Patreon.
No, just
Right.
the Patreon. Again, things are so early in. I like everything is subject to an overhaul. Even the way that dice work can be subject to an overhaul if I get the right idea, or if I feel the right way about something. In this completely chaotic state of being, I don't want to be able to be like, I'm ready for Kickstarter and stuff. I was planning on doing a Kickstarter this year, but I realized, fairly recently, I, I can't do that. I can't.
Just
I can't.
need to get a little more
I
meat to
want
it.
I want quality. I want quality to give people.
That's awesome.
And that's the typical response to a delay. The GTA 6. That's what everybody says. But like seriously, this is my first venture into something like this. I don't want to rush any part of it. And when I was doing that before, I would creatively stifle myself. I really felt that pressure that I was putting onto myself. And once I took those time frames away, I started writing again, and I started putting a lot more work into it, and I felt like I had creative freedom to do all of that. So
Well, so far it's
probably
looking
the best
good.
decision I made.
Yeah, it's looking
Thank you.
good. I'm pretty excited to see what you guys come up with. Let's see. Jenny says, I was curious about people's writing habits or routines. What helps you get in the mood to write and create?
Hmm.
Crickets.
So
Thank you, H. Moyer. By the
yeah,
way, I just see that
I
you.
like to put on when I do my writing. I like to put on music that doesn't have lyrics. So one of my favorite artists is Scattle, because it's a lot of sort of electronic-ish, not quite EDM, but like kind of lo-fi-ish.
Yeah.
Kind of low key, and um just kind of sit back and let the characters take over. Like a lot of times when I'm writing a scene, um I don't necessarily know how it's going to end. Like I pick the setting, I place the characters in, and I say go. And I kind of just sit back, and in my mind's eye, I just like watch, and I let the characters do what they want to do. And it's interesting because sometimes they'll actually surprise me. There's a few scenes in the book that like have gone a different direction than I thought. Like there's a um not to give anything away. There's a scene where there's a scene where a character can like has a shot at uh like could shoot somebody, but realizes like I can't guarantee I'm not going to kill this person, and I don't know that I have like the right to do that, and like they pause and end up letting that person go. And in my mind it was like that kind of surprised me. Like I almost like didn't expect it, but like I loved it when it happened, and it went with it.
Cool. What about you, DJ?
I got a little bit distracted reading some of the some of the
What was the
comments. I
questions?
was curious what people were saying. Repeat the question, please.
It was from Jenny. She was asking about people's writing habits or routines. What helps you get in the mood to write and create?
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now I remember. All right. So, oh gosh, I will. So, okay, Kenny was mentioning music. Okay, I'm the opposite. I will listen to music with lyrics. And one of my biggest creative forays, as far as music goes, has been the sword. Luke is probably going to write like some kind of cheers in all caps at that. But the sword is such an awesome band. They sing about high fantasy crap happening in a dying world. It's the most epic thing for someone like me personally. And I will listen to that stuff on repeat. I listen to it in the shower. I listen to it at work with my bone conducting headphones so I can still pay attention to everything around me. I will listen to it while writing.
Nice.
And it gets me in the mood to write one way or another. Now I have ADHD, so I can never focus on one thing that I want to do. I just go throughout the book. I will scroll down. I will find sections and be like, I gotta work on this, and then I'll get to something and I'll be like, wait, I'm writing about this, but that affects this. Let's go back to that, and then I'll write like a different part, and then I'll go back. it is ADHD chaos, in my book. But
Nice.
if there's some things that don't match up, please let me know. Please, but I'll fix it so fast.
For me, it's every book has a theme song, and because I walk around my backyard to get steps in, and it's a great way to unwind. I take about 20 minutes to just decompress whatever I'm doing for the day, because I work from home and I'm constantly moving. So taking 20 minutes to walk, and then I think about my book, and every book has a theme song. And in that theme song, as I'm listening to it, I will envision scenes that I would like to play out if it was a
Yes.
music video or a trailer. And so, like in Kingmaker, it was one of the themes to Ghostbusters, if I remember right. No, it was Star Wars. It was one of the Star Wars songs. In
Oh, please
Fury,
tell me. I just bought
is
Kingmaker, so you gotta tell me what the song is.
It's the one from The Force Awakens. It's one of the themes from The Force Awakens. It's has the Jedi March in it, and it bounces back and forth between Jedi March and the Imperial March. But it came out with The Force Awakens. But as I was playing, I was thinking of scenes from the book. And so there's a scene where the bridge collapses, and I can just envision where the music will for each scene. And in Fury, the next one is Disturbed's version of Shout. And I could see the entire entire thing for it. In fact, some of my regular viewers, have talked me into doing live action trailers for the book, and I'm thinking about doing that, and I'll probably get copyright claims from it, but fuck
We
it.
don't want
Sometimes you just have to do it. But so, like with Shadows of Atlantic City, the ending to that book is purely Meredith Brooks's Sin City, and the theme to that was the Ghostbusters from the newest one, Frozen Empire. And so I think of all these scenes, and then I come back in, and then I put them into brackets because I outline everything. And so I put in the scenes of what I would like to see if it was a music video, and then I rearrange them chronologically of how I'd like them to appear in the book, and then I fill in the blanks. So I think very cinematically when I write.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Thinking music can really provide that cinematic feel to the creative ideas that you have in your head. That's why I usually listen to songs on repeat until I find something new. I never get tired of listening to music, honestly. Ever since I started being a game master, it has led me to wanting to be more and more creative, and leading me onto a path where this is the thing that I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And music is a big part of that. So if you're gonna write a story, plan an adventure, or just come up with an idea, music is a great starting point.
Yeah. Let's see. Creative. Okay, let's go with Jenny here, sane with ADHD. Yeah, you can have ADHD and be sane. Ish. My superpower.
Oh, I'm definitely not, but continue.
Basically. It's chaotic
They
creative.
still let you walk the streets, so
Yeah.
it's fun.
They haven't locked us up yet.
I need supervision.
It's chaotic creativity that breeds works of art. Yes, I agree with that. Spew ideas until something takes hold and won't let go. That's from Sean. Yeah. See what sticks to the wall, I guess. Luke, whoa, live
Baloney.
action trailers would be cool. Yes, they did. Neo and Chris both talked me into doing live action trailers for the upcoming books. So I probably won't have one for Kingmaker just yet, but I definitely have some ideas for Fury and Shadows at Night City. So problem is that those are going to cost a bit of a pretty penny because of the outfits. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So yeah, it's going to be the costuming is going to cost the most. But yeah, like everybody has like AI trailers now for their books, and I think that looks horrendous. The voiceover trailers are okay, but my sister got screwed on her deal with it, and big long story. But it didn't work out very well. But I have access to YouTube and many channels, and I'm a good writer, so I figure I can easily write a book trailer. So yeah, the live action trailers are definitely going to be something I'm going to do.
A great example for a live action. Well, it's not even a live action trailer. It's just a trailer for like tabletop role playing games and such. If you look up the trailer for Merkborg and especially Cyborg, hold up. Okay, if I'm gonna bring up Cyborg,
Hey, Emilio is
okay.
here. How's it going, Neil?
So again, I showed you guys Merkborg, but there is a spin-off of it called Cyborg, and there's like this is an official spinoff, but their third-party content rules are amazing. Anybody can like make anything that they want for Merkborg as long as they have the compatible with Merkborg logo on it. There's Porkborg, Pirate Borg,
Nice.
Corpborg, I want to say. I think so.
You had me sold at Porkborg.
Porkborg, yeah, I know, right? I don't even know what that is. I just keep seeing it. I need to look into it. But Cyborg is actually twice as thick as the core rule book. And if you guys like a cyberpunk setting but want to go over the top like death metal with it, like get this book. It glows in the dark. Okay, so does this. These both glow in the dark, and everything looks freaking sick as hell under a UV light.
All the more reason to buy a book is because it glows in the dark.
I'm always going to buy the physical copies of things that I support. Okay,
well, yeah, that's like a well, I don't know if Arlo's still here, but Arlo's going to send me a digital copy, and I'm like, I'd rather support my artists that I have on the show because I prefer paperback, or I prefer hardcover, but I prefer actual actual books.
And you know, another thing that kind of plagues the TTRPG landscape is again, I don't want to be hating on Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not. I just want to show people that there are a whole bunch of alternatives. What I don't like are like giant corporations that are just worried about monetization, and you know, places like Hasbro has gone on saying like, how can we monetize this more? One of the things that you don't get with D&D books, unfortunately, are PDF copies. You have to buy those separately.
Yeah.
But that is a universal standard to every other tabletop role-playing game book. Merkborg, Dragonbane, Alien, Basin, Twilight 2000, Coriolis, Dungeon Crawl Classics, whose modules, by the way, are $10 each. Okay?
Yeah.
Every one of those comes with a PDF. You could bring that wherever you want, share it with your players. Okay, and also there's a difference between sharing it with your players and giving a copy to your players. I prefer to think about it as passing the book along at the table.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, if you like a piece of art or an artist or an author or a work, support them, please.
Oh, yeah. And for God's sakes, if you buy an ebook, don't return it. It's like
What the?
there,
Yeah.
there's
Wait, has somebody done that to you?
no, I've seen it on threads a lot where somebody will get
Oh,
the KU book and Kindle Unlimited, and so they'll read it and then return it and get the refund. Because a lot of them will do it to stick to Amazon, but it hurts the author more. And so, if you're gonna get a book, yeah, don't return it. I have never returned a book. I don't even like
yeah.
giving my books to like thrift stores. I have the original copy of Night Shift that I read. That I was 12 when I read it. Stephen King's Night Shift. It was Dad's copy, and he was going to sell it at a yard sale, and I swooped it off the table. No, it's coming home. I still have that book that I read when I was 12 years old. I never get rid of anything. So, but yeah, if you're gonna get an ebook, don't return it. It just screws the author some fierce.
No, that's it. That's kind of crazy. Honestly, I never even thought about that before because, like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
exactly like the most financially stable person in the world or anything. And I couldn't think of a single reason to buy to like return something that I bought for $3 that somebody put so
yeah.
much
I
time and
mean,
effort into.
that $3 is really gonna throw you into Hawk.
I feel like I see a lot of that kind of mentality, and this is completely off the wall here with food. I feel like people don't go to like Asian grocery stores or like go to places that are full of food that are different from like your average grocery store
Yeah.
just because they think they're not gonna like it. I'm like, spend $10, man. What do you got to lose? You what? You don't like it? Throw it away. Like,
Yeah.
try something that you might like. You might discover something about yourself. I'm a bartender, okay,
Mm.
as my regular day job, okay?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, okay, if you don't like beer, okay, and you come into a brewery and like you want the wine, I'm still going to give you a sample of beer because I genuinely believe if you have one good experience with something, and that's my goal is to
Yeah.
give you a good experience, then you'll enjoy the entire category
Oh
eventually.
yeah.
You
Then
just
they'll
need
wind up.
one.
Yeah, one little shot will turn into like 4 or 5 later on throughout the night.
Perhaps there are many of you out there who would have a good experience enjoying a tabletop role playing game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I can say, if it
give it a
wasn't
shot.
for if it wasn't for tabletop role playing games, I probably would still be an author. Stephen King played a major role in progressing as I did. I've been wanting to be a writer since I was 9 years old. Ever since I read, I think it was Harold and the Purple Crayon, and that book just sparked my imagination. Because if you don't know, Harold takes his purple crayon and makes an entire universe happen through it. His entire world is from this fucking crayon. And for some reason, that book stayed with me forever. In fact, I stole it from the school library, and I think Mom has it still for 40 some odd years ago. But like Stephen King did play a big influence in how I love horror. But D&D is when I first started playing D&D. The fantasy stuff. That's what really got me. And I wasn't really into kings and princesses and shit like that. That's when Ravenloft came around, and I was heavily into gothic horror. And so that's like when you were talking about Immane, that's what I thought that's going to be right up my alley. And so, yeah, I love tabletop games.
Yeah. I unfortunately have not. I wish I
Well,
had the patience to read more than I currently do. When I read, I like to have a book that I go section to section.
so I just
Oh, happy
somebody
Father's Day, by the way,
somebody
everybody.
sent me a
It is.
Father's Day gift. Oh my God, who sent me this? Okay, Jesus Christ.
What'd you get? Oh my gosh,
Monsanto. Holy crap. Oh, it comes
dude,
with a
that's beautiful.
case. Oh, world's first ever premium controlled kitchen knife. Oh, I love cooking. I think this is what I saw on like YouTube. People bringing me shit on stream. Well, that's awesome. Who brought me that? Oh,
Very beautiful.
From Grandpa? Oh my God, Grandpa Dan got me this. Oh.
That looks so cool, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I love cooking, and this is a kitchen knife.
I love that it has that hole there. Like,
Yeah.
how does that feel in the hand right there?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
imagine yourself chopping something really hard like that.
I feel like I could twirl it, but I don't want to slice my wrist on stream. I've been drinking.
Ah, I think we might be kindred spirits because I went to school for culinary.
I can easily twirl that. Oh, that's so nice.
That's so cool.
Well, sorry about that. I got this.
No, you're good. You're good. So, I wanted to bring up. Okay, so a while ago you asked like what kind of authors inspire me, and I wasn't able to give like a clear answer to that, but I do have a clear answer now.
Oh yeah,
and that's well, there isn't a specific author that I have because one of my biggest inspirations for horror is a worldwide creative writing project that some of you in the chat will probably know about, called Special Containment Procedures.
Oh no,
have you heard of this?
No, I thought you were going with NaNoWriMo.
Oh, I'm about to introduce something to you that you should really get into. Okay. Now I have these books here, but they don't usually exist as books. They exist as an online platform that is completely free to anybody, and you can start wherever you want. Special Containment Procedures.
Oh, okay? SCP. Okay, yep. All right.
SCP. Okay. I have all 3 of their art books that my dad actually discovered on a Kickstarter. I love these so much. These are like documents of like fake documents of supernatural entities found around the world that do various things, and now they're being kept in containment by a mysterious entity known as the Foundation. And they have little spots that are blacked out or like redacted or data expunged, so it leaves you intrigued as to, oh, so like I can read about this thing, I can read about all the files attached to it, but there's still a level of intrigue that I don't know that keeps us mysterious, and that itself is an incredible writing technique.
Yeah.
To like akin to like M. Night Shyamalan or I want to say Stephen King too, where you don't really know everything at the end.
Sure, there's been a few
Stephen Kings
that were just off the fucking wall. So, yeah,
but it keeps you thinking. And if I could give an example, this one might sound silly, but it really sticks with me. Okay, there is an SCP, short and skip, called Your Leg, and basically it's a severed leg that if you look at it, you automatically think, that's my leg. The leg that I have on me is not my leg. And you will find something to cut your leg off and attach the currently severed leg to your own, and then you just die of necrosis. And then the new leg that you cut off that was yours now has those same properties. So whoever looks at that is going to try to put that on their leg. It's insane. But it's like, that's the kind of stuff that's like, the creativity here is just outstanding, and the horror is unbound.
Yeah, there's quite a few SCPs on YouTube. That's where I started watching a few of them.
Oh, so good.
And some of them
everybody knows
good jobs. So
everybody knows about the statue, and like there's been like I want to say like 5 different games made with the statue on it. It's like it's basically the Weeping Angels from
Doctor Who.
From Doctor Who, right? Except instead of draining your life away, they just snap your neck.
So that'd be Gary's Mod.
Gary's Mod. Oh, I haven't thought about Gary's Mod in so long, man. You're bringing like back some stuff now.
Let's see.
It's still relevant.
It is almost 9. Let's go and start wrapping this up. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask Kenny or DJ. Yes, I'm not into much wine or fancy cocktails. I pretty much prefer IPA beer, which is what I'm enjoying right now. This is from Jenny. Love that you're sharing that, Sam.
I got something to talk about with beer if you got a moment.
Okay, hold on. But Don says my favorite also F.U. Kenny. Kenny betrayal moment was an alien RPG, just a cinematic experience in horror. Lol. What was that?
Sorry, what was that again?
Don says my favorite also F.U. Kenny. Kenny betrayal moment was an alien RPG, just a cinematic experience in horror.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got this. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, am I allowed to talk about this? This is kind of a spoiler for like one of the main campaigns.
Here, let me preface.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if any of you here are interested in Alien, and obviously you have to go for the very first starter set adventure, which is called Chariot of the Gods.
I always say lol.
Chariot of the Gods I've run about 3 times now, and it has ended in dramatically different ways, but the best ending that we got was the first run in that we had.
Mhm.
So if you want to run it, you'll be fine listening to what he says. If you want to be a player in it, eventually, maybe leave the stream for like 5 minutes while Kenny goes over what happened, because this is incredible. All right, take it.
Oh, I hate talking spoilers, but all right, since you set it up. Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, DJ rolled a die randomly and randomly decided that my character had a special trait. Are you ready for it? I was the android.
Oh, nice.
And I was secretly working against the whole party. Basically, my goal was to I needed to get the any proof of the alien stuff away from the party and get it to myself, because I worked for a rival company. And so yeah, so I waited and it was so funny because our friend Zach just came in with a new character and set it all up for me. He came in with this character and starts bossing everyone around. He's like, "All right, get the alien samples onto the escape vessel. Everybody, load everything. Load the injured person on the escape vessel. Load everything on the escape vessel, and then let's go." And I'm like, "Great." And I just waited for everybody to walk out of the room, and then I got on the escape vessel and I left with everything. And
basically meaning that he won. He just won the whole thing. Everybody just walked away from him.
But to 2 sessions later, we're at the end finale. They're all trying to escape off of the ship. There's an alien bearing down on them. They open up the bay to get out, and there's my character standing on the hood of a spaceship with a pulse rifle, just firing indiscriminately at them.
Yeah, luckily all of the players were still wearing their spacesuits. When he shot out at the windshield and broke it, the decompression, they were still buckled into their seats, so none of them actually just died outright. But then they had just this absolutely epic fight where one group was in an escape vessel, just shooting from their spacesuits, their guns directly at the android standing on the hood of the other vessel, neither vessel combat capable. It was one of the most epic things I think I've ever seen in a tabletop role-playing game, and all the while there were xenomorphs that were closing in on the main vessel. Nice. It was such an epic moment. Didn't they ram you? They rammed you with that ship, didn't they? They
and you know what's really funny?
With their ship.
And what's really funny is before that happened, I got to pick a new character and play with them. So I was playing as a character in their party as I revealed myself as the big bad guy at the end. And by the end of it, I ended up using my good guy to shoot my bad guy, and I became the hero anyway.
Yeah,
Even though I was the
we
bad guy
won
and the hero.
every aspect of that game.
Nice.
Amazing.
That is one of my favorite gaming moments too.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm all out. I finished 2 drinks, but
Oh shit, get another.
Luke says Kenny plays the best traders.
He does.
Laura Thompson is here. Sure glad to be here. Sorry I missed the beginning, but I'll rewatch. No problem, Laura. It's a recurring thing that keeps happening in our weekly gaming groups. You just make you're gonna be typecast as the bad guy.
I mean, everyone's got their thing. I guess I'll take it.
Hey. Don says, I survived his betrayal, but I already betrayed someone else. This is just how the game goes. Let's see, Pseudo. I think 9 minutes left until we beat the record. Oh, Sean's record. Sean's record for what? Live streams?
That's me, by the way. I'm Pseudo.
Oh. Okay, what the fuck? You are. It took me a second. Like, oh my god. You're right. Yay, Ken's a cool guy. Yep, you seem pretty cool. Does anybody have any...
H. Moyer, I wanted to thank you earlier. I saw that you joined the Patreon. Thank you so much. Please give me some feedback on this new core rulebook. That 0.4 version dropped as soon as this podcast started.
Nice. Yeah, I still got I signed up I created a new account for WriterSanctuary, and I started following, and then we started setting up the live stream, and then as soon as we started going, I got the email that 0.4 was up. I'm like, well, that was quick.
I did that on purpose. I have been working like a madman this week to make sure that I had enough content for that. Nice. I actually this morning I woke up at 9:30, started writing at 10:30, and didn't get done with everything that I needed until 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah. I was. Oh gosh, it's always like that. I will wake up in the morning, I will start writing, and then I won't stop until about like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it'll feel like I didn't do much. And that's the one of the biggest like hurdles I feel like to writing this is you put so much time into it, and then you look back and you think about what you did, and it's different. It's different from writing a story, because if you're writing a story, you can, and I'm not saying anything's harder about this at all. Okay, I feel like I'm more suited to writing something like this than a story. I just want to make that clear. But one of the biggest differences, I think, is everything you write, you got to think about how that affects everything else that you've already written. Like, did I just make this new rule contradict another rule? I got to go back and reread myself. Okay, we're playing a game. Okay, I'm the creator of the game. I have to re-reference my manual all the time, not just because I lose track of stuff, but because that rule could have changed like 15 times. It's a lot to keep track of, but it's extraordinarily rewarding, and I love it. Every bit of it. I love it.
I'm excited for it. I loved it. I was a little worried because usually I interview authors, but then when Sean was talking about, you guys were talking about the role playing game, I'm like, that's kind of like what I'm rolling into anyway, is using the role playing games as inspiration behind what I write. So I think we can easily roll that into it. And then I started
Yeah.
reading about what you guys have done so far and what you have on the Patreon. And then just tonight when you're doing the whole create the reactant, that is kind of a cool mechanic. So I'm really
I
jazzed.
love the idea of providing like game masters and people that are writing the adventures and stuff with all of this material that they could use. I love that. That's something that is present in so many indie TTRPGs that you find. And it's Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Mm.
Okay, my favorite game to run outside of my own. I mean, like I'm a little impartial, you know what I mean? But Dungeon Crawl Classics, they have a dragon generation table, and I generated a couple dragons, and one of them felt straight up like Godzilla. And I was like, the amount of variety that you got with this was insane, and it really opened up an entire world to me that I thought, if I made a game, I want to have this dialed up to 11. I want to have you be able to have a randomly generated creature that can inspire you to create an entire adventure out of uh, in the span of 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
you create this from scratch and you have like almost any genre available to you. We're gonna have dragons, sea monsters, eldritch horrors, demons, accursed, uh, aliens, all of that is going to be available in this game eventually. And I can't wait to get together with some people. We my play testers are absolutely amazing. I want to give a shout out to, first of all, Kenny over here. He's helped me a lot recently with like some of the magic item effects and a lot of the creature effects. Like we spent a lot of time together on the celestial tables. But my dad, who's in the chat, Don Cook, Luke Perthiner, absolutely amazing. Libby was in here. I want to actually specifically point out Libby, who made this artwork, came up with a part of the arachnid table that
Mm.
she came up with. They have an addictive flavor. Like the basically the idea is that if you have like a swarm of addictive spiders, they're gonna go into your mouth, and then all of a sudden you're gonna start craving them. Like that's messed up, but that's horrifying, and I love that. Um, you know, Zach Bright, who comes in every now and then to help with some of the stuff. Awesome. Sean Gregory has come in, had to help many times, and again, we're gonna be collaborating with each other to bring Immane into his universe. We're gonna there's gonna be a lot of fun changes that we got to make to the game in order to bring his universe in. Like it's going to be a supplemental book that has a lot of rules changes. If you haven't read the whole book, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've read the whole book, you'd know why that's going to be a challenge concerning the gods in here. But um, oh gosh, Max. Um, Maxwell Smith Hoffman. He's fucking amazing because he keeps doing something that nobody else does in my playtester group, and he keeps nitpicking at the tiniest little things. But that could not be more. Look at Kenny. Look at him laughing. He knows what I'm talking about. But that is such useful information to me. Okay, Max, if you're in the chat right now, I want to say to you, like, I know that it seems like I might have been annoyed every now and then at the stuff that you've talked about, but I seriously value every bit of information that you give me. It is absolutely invaluable. I love it. So again, everybody that has helped me to further this project. like your name's getting in the book. Okay, like hell yeah.
Don says,
Sean, we've officially beaten your time.
Yep. Don says, Michael, please send Sean Gregory a link to the log in if you'd like him to try joining the video. Actually, Sean's part of Writer Sanctuary's Discord channel anyway. He should be able to just jump in if he's still there. Much love to Max, the ultimate rules liar. Luke says, yeah, that's so dark and messed up. Yeah, the spider, the spider thing. Laura asks, do you write as a full-time job? I think you said you were a bartender.
Yeah, I'm a bartender, and I'm about to become a manager at a grocery store for more financial stability. But it's the dream, isn't it? To do something that you feel like you were meant to do something that you feel passionate about. One of the things that I've always kept in my life, I went to school for art. Okay, I was a visual artist, and I didn't feel like showing people my art. This is a me thing, by the way. This isn't my opinion about anybody else. Oh my gosh! Holy crap, Sean!
I think we're Sean gone here.
You guys are going to be looking at me in the dark, but I apologize for jumping in late.
As we wrap up the show, Sean makes it.
Exactly. You got to save the best for last, right? No, I'm kidding. Sorry that I missed the show, but I definitely want to just chime in because I've been listening now for about 10, 15 minutes. And everything that DJ said is 100%. I mean, you guys are, DJ, Ken, you guys are some talented artists and writers. And this game that DJ has put together has been one of the most insane rides I think I've been on.
Silence.
Say more, please.
It's really weird.
I'm loving that. I love it.
I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, all I see is that I'm sitting in the back seat of a car. And, my poor driver is driving me for an hour from the airport to work. And she's driving in the dark, listening to me. And I'm sitting in the dark, looking in the screen going, wait a minute. I look like a ghost. But like, DJ,
this is Sean Gregory, writer of the Growing Darkness, the God Killers trilogy, and
he was on an interview a couple weeks ago.
Yes, you can watch his interview on the VOD, on live VOD from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to comment on the reason I hopped on is because DJ, you were saying something that I feel is every writer, Ken, Mike. There's a few writers that are on here right now. I know Arlo is hopping in. Arlo Z Graves, who was on last week, is hopping in and out of here. That's I know Laura is on here, who not only is one of my editors and Ken's editor too as well, but is also a writer in her own right. And what you said, DJ, that continuity of every time you make a change, every time you edit, did you violate something you created earlier? Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing about riding this ride with DJ has been we're getting to see him make edits live and then execute those edits on a weekly basis. And when the changes violate whatever was new, our heads spin sometimes. But DJ does a really good job of not only when we, cry foul of making a correction, but also when we think that he's done a foul, he's done a really good job of going back and looking and saying, no, I already accounted for that, and here's why. And you look at the rules and you go, oh, yeah, wow, you did. So it's, there's a lot of work that he's putting on a daily basis to keep that continuity within the story, within the world that he's creating, the rules that he's creating. And I really do feel there's so much passion in what's going on here, but there's so much thought and intellect in it as well.
Nice. That is well said, John.
Thank you. Dude, the fact that you got to appear towards the very end here, man. Oh, what an epic final part of this. Thank you.
Oh my god, I
Well,
got
I couldn't let you break my record without me being a part of it.
Dodd says, I
told
just keep thinking Sean's driver must think he's super famous. He will be my friend. He
Getting
will
there.
be.
I just see the
I like
the street lights
Yeah,
highlighting
so you
you.
gotta-
And it was kind of epic in that moment. I loved watching that.
How Godfather-esque. John Wick in the background. Anywho, is there
Oh, you know.
anything else anybody else wants to ask before we call this a night? I have got to go to the bathroom.
Sorry for keeping you,
Oh
man.
no, it's all good.
Just,
Thank
just
you,
had
Laura,
such
for
a good
stopping
time.
by. Jennifer Decker is leaving. It's getting pretty late for her. Like, this is like one of the latest shows I've done. I think my sister actually holds the actual longest stream. That was 2.5 hours.
Oh, come on, we got 15 minutes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Seriously, if you gotta go, we gotta end this. But yeah.
I'm really excited to give guys I would love to watch to see how things progress. I would love to be part of your guys' gaming stuff too. Don't forget that everybody who's watching, the QR code on the screen is going to directly to Immane's Patreon, and you can also click onto it from the link in the description down below. Please give them some love, and it doesn't cost anything to join for free.
I want to just add one more thing before we have to go. I will be at the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo this year in October. It takes between the 3rd and the 5th of October. And I will be there running a play test for the latest version of Maine in public. And so if you guys are in the Pittsburgh area or in Pennsylvania and you want to check out my game and you want to give it a try, come on down to the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, buy a ticket. There's a lot more happening than just Immane. It's a ton of stuff related to tabletop role-playing games, indie video game developers. It's going to be a blast of a time, and they are looking as well for game masters that want to run other things. So if you have a preferred tabletop role-playing game system that you would like to run or show off to other people that might be unfamiliar with it, check out PittsburghGamingExpo.com. They should be recruiting people right now or very soon. And I'm gonna be there as well. If you wanna check out the game from the game master himself,
Sweet.
just let me know.
Okay, so I'm guessing, Don, that is the convention that you wanted me to talk about. Just before you started talking about it.
Luke and Don were both like screaming in the background. Mention it.
Oh.
So
I didn't even see.
So I did. I think Don brought it up earlier, and I was going to ask him, and then I completely got sidetracked. So that was my bad. But luckily, you guys bailed me out, so I didn't have to remember. So.
I do want to say one thing for the record, completely unrelated, but Ken, DJ, you guys didn't drink nearly enough during this interview. I'm grossly disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I had a Manhattan and a long drink. Okay.
Sean and I got tore up.
No. And next time, drink from the bottle.
One bottle. He did. One bottle. Boom. I'm done. One bottle.
I don't know if you were on, Sean, but DJ was drinking from the bottle towards the beginning of it. He said in memory of Sean.
And I was for like a fairly long period of time. So if you were really watching like a true fan and supporter.
Okay, Laura says, DJ, I'll try to connect with you. I'd love for you to chat with my 11-and-a-half-year-old son, Will, that loves YouTube gamers and wants to be a game designer when he grows up. Yes, and I will send this video to my son because he wants to do exactly what you're doing. And so,
listen, I am more than happy to. Okay, just a couple things you got to understand. I watched Starship Troopers when I was like a toddler. Okay, so so I have no problem explaining this type of game to somebody that is young, but also this is not necessarily a game meant for children. So as long as you're cool with that, heck yeah, let's get in touch.
Well, that's why, like, I always say that I don't write kids lit, but then Jennifer points out that, well, my Jennifer, not Jenny here. Jennifer points out that, yeah, but she knew what I was reading when I was a kid. And it was Stephen King, Jaws. I read Jaws at 9 years old. So I guess in a way, I do write kids lit.
I had a babysitter actually that rented Jaws right in front of me and then watched it and then let me sit next to her. And that's all I remember of that babysitter.
My introduction to mayhem. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you very much to see. Well, there's so many people that were chatting. So thank you all for watching. Thank you very much, DJ and Kenny, for being on the show. It was awesome to talk about Immane. Awesome for Sean to show up at the very end.
Yeah.
Despite Delta flights, I'm glad you landed safely and liquored up.
I kept him on just for you.
I gotta be honest with you, I cannot believe that they didn't shut off the Wi-Fi at 10,000 feet like they always do. So I never lost connectivity. So I got to see at least the last,
nice
30 minutes of it.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Thank you also, Luke. You guys are great. Yeah, we'll have to set something up. I would love to try out your guys' game, and I will definitely stream it to Colorado Plays YouTube channel.
Yeah. Let's absolutely come up with something. I would absolutely love to be more involved with your community, and if there's a way that we can get a playtest going, that would be absolutely incredible for me, and I'll do my absolute best for you.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see how everything works. I'm telling you, I am tits out for your bad guy, your monster roller.
You're gonna die.
Basically,
I'm going after you first.
I'm gonna die, and Ken's going to be the killer.
That's right.
Oh
That
yeah,
could be
Ken's
only one.
going to be involved, and he's going to betray the party at some point. I promise you. Oh, there he is again.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being on the show. We'll go ahead and kill it here, and then I will read next week's daily affirmation card. Actually, you know what? I did it with Sean on, so let's go ahead and do these. Normally, what I do every week is I do a daily affirmation for writers, and last week's daily affirmation was, no matter how I am feeling right now, I will show up for myself and others who are waiting to read the words that I write. I will keep showing up every day. I would say that, DJ, you did that in spades, getting up at 9 and then hammering out everything you could until 6. So, and yeah, it's words I live by.
I feel that way with everything that I do, honestly. And I'm not trying to be like a super spiritual person by saying that. I go to work because I know that if I slack off, okay, at work, I know that I'm affecting my coworkers. My coworkers are my friends, okay? One of the earliest lessons that I had in a professional environment was, if you don't do something, somebody else has to do it. And I had taken that with a lot of things that I do, and that has kind of crept into my creative environment. But I'm going to affect myself later.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Let me not be mad at my past self. Put it that way.
Well,
I've always felt that way with Severed Coils too, like trying to keep up with a consistent schedule. Like,
you got a fan base, dude.
There was like a view tracker on the forums. I could tell that at its peak I had about like 250 readers on it. So I knew like for a while I was trying to keep up with a bi-weekly pace, and then I let it go probably a year without an update, and I finally made one last month, so I'm trying to get back to it. I lost a bunch of our footage from our D&D campaign, which kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit, but I'm going to try to push through it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I started the YouTube channel 8 years ago, and it started off with just doing textbook stuff on how to help people learn how to use content mills and do what I do for a living. And even if I just got monetized back in November, and even if I wasn't making a single dime on the channel, I would still do this because I love what I do. I have fun. I've met some amazing people doing these interviews, and it's in my nature to help. And so even when I had Fluvid, I was still making content. That was a horrible experience. It was flu and COVID mixed together. It was a bad day. This week's daily affirmation is, I will not be deterred by constructive criticism. I never am. I will cherish the opportunity to grow stronger in my craft. I will erase all doubt in my ability by striving to improve each day. I teach this all the freaking time, actually.
Can I just the previous affirmation?
Oh yeah.
Can I throw that towards Sean? Sean didn't get to respond to that one.
Sure. Oh yeah. Of course, Sean. Respond to the last week's affirmation was, no matter how I am feeling right now, I will show up for myself and others who are waiting to read the words that I write. I will keep showing up each day.
So, it's funny you say that. We talked about this, I think, during my interview 2 weeks ago. I work best when I have debt. Now, unfortunately, I have a lot of demands on the schedule and things slip. And, Ken was talking about how he, used to have, he used to post pretty regularly, then didn't. Now he's back to posting. The hardest part about what we are doing is not the creative side of it. It's the getting the word out, the marketing, and building the following and the interest of what we're putting out there. Because at the end of the day, we're pouring our souls into something and then sending it out into the world and saying, hey, I please be a part of this that I'm doing. I have always said, years and years ago, I was an actor and did a lot of stuff on stage and in some small films and stuff. And it's a communal aspect that is part of the acting world, whether it's a film or a play. And I used to think that writing was a solo activity. And the truth is it's not. It's also communal. It's communal in that we are all writers and we're all putting our work out there into bookstores and on our websites and through various other, methods. And that doesn't happen by itself. We have, if we're doing it right, we've got editors and we've got beta readers and we've got friends that we're like, you're looking at, here's 3 of us who are, very good friends on your show, and you're becoming one of our, thanks to you, we're a part of, you've come into our circle of friends and colleagues. And we don't do this alone. We have to show up not just for ourselves, but for one another, because, what we do requires us to share on a regular basis consistently so that we can not only learn from one another, but that we can support one another. And so for me, that's what this has been about. And so part of showing up maybe isn't necessarily me writing. And I know, Arlo, I hope you're still on here right now, but I know you're bouncing back and forth. Arlo always says, you got to take care of you and you got to put the work out there. But Arlo is very much, do it at your pace. And they put out such amazing pieces of literature. But again, Arlo will be the first one to tell you they didn't do it by themselves. And so for me, putting it out there, that affirmation for me is being present for the community as a whole. And putting out work is a part of what we're supposed to do. Because if we're not putting out work, then we're really not part of the community,
That's well said. makes me all kinds of warm and fuzzy inside.
I also want to just like input. I love the fucking Viking aesthetic that Arlo has with like the axes in the background
Oh.
of their
Did you
just
see the box opening?
standing off to the side and showcasing the axes was such a great fucking move.
Oh, on the show? Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
you should saw I saw Arlo's unboxing on, I think it was Instagram. Use the axe to cut.
Did you see the unboxing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the
So-
profile picture with the scythe.
Like
The
I
axe out of nowhere
I
just hit
love
the box.
Arlo's content. Arlo's content is absolutely amazing. I think they're one of the most talented people I've
Just
ever met.
what's Arlo's book title again? I gotta buy it.
The ice moves for,
The ice
for
moves
no
for
one.
no one. But listen, I mean, you know what?
Ice moves for no one.
Get on the Kickstarter. Get
Oh, we're losing him.
cover.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And oh my god, what was unboxed was amazing today.
Oh. We lost half of that, but it's all good. Yeah, Arlo's unboxing. Like, you see this axe come out of nowhere, hit the box. That was just, I loved it. That was funny.
Yeah, I'm driving through the middle of nowhere, so I don't know if you can hear me.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. More welcome to be on. Anytime. I had a great time. My bladder's about to explode.
No, please,
So-
please, you go. Thank you so much for letting me join. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ken, for coming in with us and talking about the game that you guys have played and like being able to plug your own projects. Again, you can catch me at the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. You can check out the game completely for free on Patreon right now, and its latest versions.
And the expo's on October 5th, right?
October 3rd, 4th,
Third,
and
okay.
5th. You will be able to find out eventually when I will specifically be there, but I will be there on at least one of those days.
Unfortunately, I won't be, because on October 4th, I will be at the Stanley Marketplace here in Denver for Read Between the Stars for a book signing. So, but if you're not in Denver, make sure you check out Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's got a lot of stuff going on. It's awesome.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Michael, for having me on your show.
You're
thank
welcome.
you for the space.
You are so welcome. I'm looking forward to playing some games and streaming some stuff and making some cool things. So,
Heck yeah.
all right. Thank you guys for on the show. I'll see you next time. And I am going to go pee.